We're live.
Cool. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Campaign Crashers. We are a D&D play podcast where we rotate DMs after a certain smaller interval of time than normal people. And I'm your DM for the time being. My name's Taylor, and you guys want to introduce yourself really quick?
Yes, hello, I'm Chad. I'm playing the character Barrow, mysterious druid of the deserts.
Ethan.
Hey, my name's Ethan, but I'm actually Brendel the Bard. I'm here just barding it up bard style. Human bard. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Bryant, and I'll be playing Elliot, a naive half-halfling quarterling knight that is from Ix and is trying to find his way in this big, scary world.
And my name is Simon. I'm playing Og, a gnome wizard, and I'm just out exploring, trying to find some artifacts and learn new spells for myself and show up everybody who stayed at school.
Show up everyone who stayed at school, says the guy who got left behind.
Shut up, dude. We don't talk about that.
Dope. So do you guys need a reminder of what happened to Og last session? Because
We haven't dealt with the trauma yet. Both of
Who's
being left
Og again?
behind and with what happened to him. So we should definitely dig into that.
Og is
Great,
happy
yeah.
to not remember last time.
So last session, you all channeled your spells and attacks into your quill pens and notebooks to take stories from some of Beskol's most concerned residents and parents. During this encounter, Og passed out, presumably from an anxiety attack, while the rest of you took care of business. I also, just like DM to you, totally sorry because I forgot that you were a wizard and you would pass out from me blowing on you too hard. Anyway.
Oh yeah, no, that's all gonna come back to you when it's my turn.
And I fireball the DM. What?
Damn, that's meta. By the end of the night, you all had taken all of the stories but one story from a disgruntled dwarf. As a result of this, you guys gave the impression that you cared more about the elves than you did the commoners in the town. So as a result, you guys were given advantage on any sort of social checks for the elves and disadvantage on any sort of social checks for common folk within the town.
And DM, is that a is that something that we side with the elves? Are you telling us that our characters think that, or is it that they saw us interact more with them?
They saw you guys pay attention more to the elves through not necessarily any of your own intent, but the way that they perceived it was you took more of the elves' stories than you did the common people's stories. Therefore, you like the elves more.
Gotcha.
So now, any sort
You're
of
not wrong.
Any sort of social interaction or check, I'll give you guys advantage on. Obviously, a strength check you're not going to have advantage on because an elf thinks you like him more. Unless he really thinks you like him more and he wants to give it to you, but I doubt it. So after your encounter, you all headed to the Dayanara and the Cozy Cat Inn where you met Janine, the hip red-headed human girl that runs both of the establishments. After some brief note sharing and some liquor, you all headed to bed for the night, eager to solve the case of the missing teenagers. So that is
Janine. I sleep deeply with thoughts of Janine.
Yeah, I'm curious to know how Og is sleeping, if he's having nightmares.
I don't know if it's too early for that stuff to be kicking in, but I'm absolutely exhausted, sleeping on Mogo, and I'm definitely gonna sleep in at the very least. I'm gonna be sleeping in.
What's Og's definition of sleeping in?
Well, he's a gnome, so they like to rise with the sun. But he's a college student, so they like to rise at midday with the help of coffee or energy drinks. So I
you're-
don't know. I think we're gonna split the difference there.
You're targeting like an aggressively normal wake up time for him.
Yeah.
9
I'm
a.m.
gonna sleep in today. 8:30.
Well, if you're telling me what time do I plan on waking up, you got to tell me like I don't know what season it is. Which hemisphere?
It is. Well, do we know how seasons work in the northern hemisphere of
Second
Oscar?
equinox.
You
highest
roll a
moon.
dice, and then that's kind of
Think
how it goes.
London.
What month is it?
It is fall. So it's kind of getting darker as the days go.
Okay.
Let's say this is like November.
Third month of rain, we call it.
The
Fantasy equivalent of a November.
rain.
I'd like to remind you all the last time Og slept in, he was used as like a club and was beaten across all the walls inside the Baron Doja post.
Damn, why do you
So-
sleep in so much, Hog?
Maybe fucking concussions. I mean, throwing that out there.
Compounding.
Jeez.
Og is just in a coma caused by mental strain.
Oh my gosh. All right, so Og sleeps in till approximately 8:30 a.m. and he wakes up sharp because that's when his gnomish early instincts kick in and say you're not allowed to sleep anymore. So you guys actually all wake up to the sounds of calm rain on the roof and distant thunder. The rooms in the Cozy Cat are all painted a dark purple, and there's a cat picture hanging on the front of every door, as well as a cat-shaped pillow in every room. From behind the door of your room, yeah?
Are all the pictures of cats different cats or the same cat?
Oh yeah, it's a different cat. Come on. You think they're that cheap?
I don't.
It's kind of like it's the only inn in town, but it's like a kind of cute little boutique inn.
Okay, well, it could have been like one really photogenic
Respectable.
cat, with different sides of it.
Like Garfield, like his butt, his thigh, his
Yeah.
face.
Why'd you go over butt
Yeah.
first? The first thing you said was butt.
I don't know, because I was thinking about
It's a
that
cat.
ghost
You're gonna
tattoo
see
of
that
guy
anus.
belly button. Anyways, they're all different cats.
There's a reason they call
and
it the cat flap.
From behind the cat-adorned door of your rooms, you guys wake up to the smell of bacon. What would you like to do?
Wow. This
I
is
go and I search out the source of the smell of bacon.
I follow tonight.
I'm coming, but give me some time. I'll be there. Don't eat all the bacon.
Elliot is already
Dope.
like.
So-
I will search. Yeah, I will save some. I've got small sandwich bags from like Zeeploc, the friend of mine, but he makes these little bags that are like sealable, and so I like have like a Zeeploc bag, and I'm just ready to like throw some bacons in there.
Great. Love
That
to
was
see it.
slow for me.
Slow for you?
No, don't start this
hit,
now.
It hit way later. It hit way later than it should have.
The Zeeploc. Jeez. Okay, so you guys head down. You follow the smell of the bacon, and it leads you down to the stairs of the like the sort of front lobby. So like the front lobby of the Cozy Cat is actually attached to the Dayanara Cafe. So it's like one of those areas where you can you can check into your hotel room, but you can also go grab a quick bite to eat in our separate but same restaurant. And in the Dayanara, they're kind of in like full-on breakfast mode. You can see Janine. She's basically like working her way from table to table. She's like buzzing, taking orders, pouring coffee, doing the whole thing. Behind the counter, you can see there's a half orc, and he's just like whipping up pancakes and eggs, and you can see some bacon on the griddle. And as you guys walk into the front, you see Janine, and she says, "Well, hey, how'd y'all sleep?"
Hey, with thoughts of you in my head, Janine, I found myself sleeping deeper and lovelier than ever before.
Well,
You enchant me.
gotta say, that's mighty sweet of you there, Brendel. She gives you a little pat on the arm.
There's quite
I
a lot
shiver.
of cat photos. Seems like maybe we were being watched the whole night. A little spooky, but yes, well rested.
I mean, do you have that kind of problem with any sort of thing that has eyes that's on a painting? I mean, it would be everywhere.
I don't know. I've never wild shaped into a cat. I never will. Is that cat I smell?
Is that cat? What?
What? Are we eating cats?
Pig. It's bacon. All right.
You broke the theme.
Do y'all want to see? I mean, there's a lot of people in here, and you're kind of blocking the aisle. There's a little bit of a bustle. If you can't tell, it's just me on duty.
Do you have? Is there a table for us? Spare table for 4?
I mean, there's not really a table, but you're welcome to take a seat at the bar.
I don't know if I need that this early. Food after all that yelling yesterday, food might just make me more nauseous. I'm gonna.
To each their own. I will take a seat at the bar. Yeah.
We'll
Do you
take
want
your
me to
finest
grab you
boots,
something small to
Janine.
eat?
Yes.
You what?
Yes.
All right. Make
I'll
to
be
grab you
outside.
something.
Thank you.
So you sit outside. You guys go in.
This
Yeah,
rainy air.
Dope. It's raining, and so I hope you brought your coat.
I still got that whaleskin coat.
You damn right you do. Yeah, so you guys go into the restaurant. You guys take a seat. There's mostly dock workers who are eating before their weekend sale. If you didn't know already, because I didn't tell you, it's a Saturday morning. You see in the corner of the room, in an isolated and walled-off booth, you recognize him as Morose, who's the top sorcerer for the Fae Finders of Beskol, and he's sitting in there all by himself, looking a little bit disgruntled at all of the commoners in the restaurant. And then also sitting at the bar, you see there's a half elf with gray combed over hair and a beard. And he's wearing these big tan robes with a green sash. And then 2 seats away from him, you can see a very, very hungover looking schmonnery sipping his coffee.
Okay. Should we go check in with Schmonnery? Wait, Schmonnery at a table?
Schmonnery sitting at the bar sipping some coffee.
Also, if it's Saturday, you should have said Catterday.
Oh shit! I should have thought of it.
Restart the stream.
Control Z.
Hey, guys,
Okay.
isn't that the sorcerer from last night? Morose is his name, right? He looks really dissatisfied with something. Do you think we should ask him if he could share what's on his mind?
Bring him a plate of cat bacon. Bring him a plate of bacon or something.
What is it, cat? Do they serve cat? Are they serving cats here?
Hey
It's a little
guys, it's colder
mysterious.
outside than I thought, so I'm back in here.
All right, hold on, Og. We have to make sure we're
Uh.
not getting served cats.
Janine gets out a stool so that you can step up onto the stool. It's like
Oh, thank
one
you.
of those little stepping stools to get onto the real stool.
I push him out of the way and sit on it.
Step stool, what are you doing?
The step stool to the bar stool.
Yeah, maybe we bring a gift, some bacon or pastry or something.
Wait, who are we taking this to? I mean, I don't. Yeah, who are we taking bacon to?
If you look over there, on a booth by himself, it's Morose, the
Oh, it's that
sorcerer from
guy.
last night. Yeah, and he looks really, really disgruntled over something. Maybe he found some more news out or something. We didn't really get to talk to him too much last night with everyone else bombarding us with their stories.
All right, well, let me see. Let me see how this goes. Hello there.
Right. We'll be
I
here
walk
to be your
over.
backup.
Hello there, fellow sorcerer. We talked a little bit last night, but it was, I guess, yesterday. But it was a little overwhelming for me, so I didn't say much. I'm just interested. I am a wizard out of the Amenablach College over in Eden's Gulf. I assume you're from the same area. Maybe you trained there as well?
Well, first off, your little episode was quite embarrassing last night. As a matter of fact, I am from Eden's Gulf, from Westwatch, however, where I learned all my training and all of my things that I do. So what are you over here for? I mean, I'm in a booth. Clearly, I
Well-
don't want to be bothered.
Oh, I thought they didn't have booths here. I thought we were all at the table at the bar. Oh well.
No, you didn't hear the narrator just say that I'm sitting in a booth looking disgruntled.
No, I said that in character. I said that in character. No, I'm here
Yes,
mostly
so
for the
did
same reason you are. Saturday, and it's the morning, so breakfast food and all that. Yeah. No, I'm mostly just curious. My friend said you weren't looking like you're having a great morning, and clearly that seems to be the case because I've never really talked to any other magical practitioner that's so eager to get away from a conversation about the practicing of magic.
I do apologize for my disgruntledness. You see, this establishment is probably the only good one in town where I can get a decent bite in the morning, but at the same time, having to look at these filth. And then he points to all the people sitting at tables. He's like, I just wish for once it would just be me.
I hear that. I hear that.
I mean, look at them. That one, and he points to a fat one. He's like, look at his butt crack is out, and he's got a fish skin hanging out of his shoe.
It's
You
disgusting.
really think that I want to see that while I'm chomping down some bacon?
Exactly. Exactly. And look at that one over there, like so old and crotchety, like can't even move very fast. Like why is he like no, we don't have healthcare here. Why is he still around?
He just looks at you and goes, that's my dad. Just kidding.
What you can do with magic these days is just amazing, right? And that's how I know he's not a commoner, because a commoner wouldn't be around that long.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I mean, we got off on the wrong foot, but I do still hear you. If you want to eat in peace, I can leave. But I am curious before I go. This is a research town. You're looking into stuff about the Fae. I'd be really interested in learning about that. Is there a library or laboratory or something somewhere here?
Well, we do have a lab, as a matter of fact. It's where we do most of our important studies. It also just happens to be attached to my quarters. But unfortunately, we don't just let anyone in there.
Well, I mean, again, probably shouldn't. I mean, have you seen some of the people in this town? It's a shame you have to rely on them for commerce. But I mean, no, so 2 spring breaks ago, no, summer vacation, yeah. So last summer vacation, I actually ended up partying a lot with a bunch of the Tuatha in the Feywild. I was actually late to the starting semester because I literally didn't know where time had gone, if you know what I'm saying.
I know.
So-
I'm well aware.
Yeah, exactly. You got me. So anyway, like I totally hear that you don't want just anybody going in there, but I do think I've been to the Fey. I don't remember it, but I know I've been to the Feywild. I know. I'm a gnome. We're all kind of from there in the first place. If I can help you out, or if I can give you like an interview, or anything to help the research, because like as far as I see, like I don't know, the sheriff at the station, like let's face it, they're gonna find the kids, and they're gonna find that this is a bunch of commoners rabble rousing like they do, and the last thing we need, or that you need, is a halt in research. I mean, the king, whose name I didn't forget, I know they don't like stuff slowing down.
Little man, I will give you this. You do have an incredible capacity for very high-level banter, but
Thank you. I've worked on that.
At the end of the day, I'm not willing to open up to you or anyone. As a matter of fact, it's my business. It's my job as top sorcerer to find it. If you happen to find some information that might be useful, bring it by me. But I'm willing to guarantee that I've already found everything there is to find, except for maybe the exact way to get to the Feywild. But that's separate from the point.
Okay. Well, I'll let you know. You said the lab's attached to your house. Just for when I do find that stuff. Whereabouts is that?
Well, it's about half a mile north of here.
Cool. Thanks.
I really feel like I divulged too much information to you. I don't really know why. I typically wouldn't even talk to someone like you, to be quite honest.
Well, I
He's
I'll
got
see you
away with
around.
words.
I go
He's
back
so
to the
good.
group. I go back to the group and say that guy's a fucking cunt.
Oh, wow.
Jesus.
That's some strong words.
He glares at Brendel after he says things about words.
Well,
Admittedly, yes, he is definitely a bit of a jerk. However, it's almost as if saying words such as that would be unacceptable on like a large streaming good lord.
Was
You
that
could
to
say
him?
it rhymes with hunt.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, jeez.
I think I'm gonna punt this conversation over to our resident quarterling. Elliot, what are your thoughts? What should we do next?
Yeah, I mean, you guys, and keep in mind, like, you're in your investigation mode right now. So do what you feel like you need to do to try and get some information or track down these kids, or it's meant to be, you guys can do kind of how you want.
So you said that there was the sorcerer, there's a half elf, and then there's like dock workers in this establishment right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Og, well, it seems like you did anything, aside from his personality, glean through that conversation?
I ultimately don't think I'm going to get anything from him, but I'm still on the lookout for any kind of library or records or anything just in town. I think we can go to either. No one at the sheriff's office was helpful in any way, but going back to the town hall, there's probably info there that I can look through. This guy, he sounds like kind of the same as the sheriff, where they're only willing to help us once we've solved all their problems for them. And as far as I'm concerned, he can drown in his own problems.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point. I did not expect that to be how the conversation went. I'm sorry for making you go through that.
In both of these characters' defense, you guys are literally no ones who just walked up to the highest sorcerer in the town and the chief of the town guard, and demanded information.
In our
I guess we should get a little bit better at introducing ourselves.
We'll be children. Do you know? Do you know what we'll do? Like,
A town guard,
I forget.
Did we? That and he perks up.
Yeah. Did we get like ID cards or anything from the Barandosha Post?
We got the feathers.
Yeah, but I showed it off last time. It didn't matter.
Yeah, I'm pretty disillusioned with this as far as this feather being any way useful for us. I mean, if we can't actually talk to anybody and get information, I don't know how we're supposed to be journalists here. And that's why I say I can go to any library or, any place where information's written down. I'm happy to search through it. I think that's going to be a lot more useful than talking. Everyone in this town is just so busy being racist and classist and stuff, So
yeah, that really does look like the
paper
case.
doesn't lie.
before we leave, can I stop and talk to Schmammery? Schmammery?
Sure.
Name?
Yeah, you can.
Schmammery, good morning to you. Is Is that a drink you're having already? It's
No, it's-
10 o'clock, 9?
My man, it's coffee. I'm not. I don't have that big of a problem. Okay.
Okay. Making sure. I thought I saw you pouring something into said coffee. Anyways, Schwammer, you've been here a while now. Looks like you have something you want to say, but I'm going to continue to talk. Have you heard any whisperings or anything while you've occupied said bar for an extended amount of time? That's of no concern to me. People get a little loose-lipped in such places.
Well,
That's why they call it Lipton tea.
the rings where I typically hang around here are less caring for children. But I will say, I've heard some sailors make some disrespectful comments, which I won't repeat here. You could probably just listen and hear yourself. I did hear the fella sitting right over there seems to work with kids pretty regularly, though. But I'm not exactly sure. I just heard him talking to Janine about something with the teenagers, or the kids are all doing something. I don't know. I just have such a raging headache right now that, it's just brutal. And then he signals to Janine, says, Janine, could you, for the love of all that's good, get me just another cup of coffee, please? And she goes, well, sure thing. Anything for you, Schmonnery?
Schmonnery? Are you saying to me?
Yeah, no, Janine said that to Schmonnery.
Okay.
Didn't he just say he wanted coffee?
Yeah, I asked Janine.
So did he get his coffee or not?
Yeah, okay, she brought his freaking coffee and she poured it. And she said, this one's on the house.
Who was he pointing to when he said that someone was talking about using kids or working with kids or something?
It's
Using kids. He was talking to the half-elf.
About the sorcerer?
No.
Oh.
The sorcerer is sitting in the bar by himself, the half-elf. Or in the booth.
He was pointing to the half-elf?
Wait,
Yes.
I thought the sorcerer was in the booth.
He is in the booth.
You said bar.
Is the half-elf in a booth?
Pull out the
Sorcerer's in the
battle
booth.
map. Pull out the
Sorcerer's in
battle map.
booth. The half-elf is at the bar. Sorry, I
Okay,
misspoke
wait.
when I just said that.
Reprime me again about the half-elf?
The half-elf is sitting at the bar, eating some pancakes and drinking coffee, and he's wearing brown robes or tan robes with a green sash, and he's got kind of like combed over gray hair and a big beard. He's an old guy.
Cool. We don't know anything else, though, right? We don't recognize him from earlier.
Yeah, was he
No,
there
you
last
don't
night?
recognize him. Huh?
Cool. I'm going to leave Schmommery and say, Schmommery, enjoy your coffees, and thanks for the help. And walk towards the half-elf, and then kind of look at the group and give them and then point to my eyes and point to the half-elf and kind of go wave them with me and go talk to the half-elf. I do 3 different signals, meaning all different things that are equally
Okay, noted.
important.
Noted. Great.
I'll approach the half-elf.
In response, I point to my ear, and then I make a flapping motion, and then my shoulder, like a sudden jarring, dislocating motion, and then I point to my chest, and I point, and I kind of flap at it, and then I point, and then I just kind of do like a waving motion with my hands, and then I point at him, and then I give him a thumbs up.
I think like half of the restaurant is staring at you guys.
Elliot just kind of slowly walks away from Brendel towards Barrow.
I look down and I realized it's the whole time my feet were moving in like a salsa motion. Didn't even realize it. It was totally not intended, but it definitely fit with the rhythm.
Elliot doesn't slowly walk over; he just runs.
He just over to the half elf.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you run over there, and in your speed, you kind of like bump him a little bit, and you go, whoa!
Oh,
Sorry, didn't see you there, little man.
No, it's actually my fault. Someone was having, I don't know, maybe they were possessed or something. They started doing this
Oh.
strange, writhing motion, and it just kind of freaked me out.
You see,
Hi, my name is Elliot. What's your name?
more like you were embarrassed of your friend.
All right, well, we won't say that, but yes.
It's completely fine. I have a way. I spend lots of time around people your age. I understand.
Wait, how old do you think I am?
I think you're probably approximately 13.
Oh, yeah, let's go with that.
This is not going well.
Am I not in the ballpark?
No, you're pretty close. I'm actually I'm actually a halfling, so I'm shorter than, well, I'm taller than a halfling my age, but I'm shorter than a human. So it's pretty deceptive. I'm actually like a little over 17. It's okay though. I get mistaken
you're
for
a
child all the time.
quarterling. Oh, that's
Yeah.
great. It's nice. You said your name was Elliot.
Yes.
Well, Elliot, it's great to meet you. Would you like to join me for a brief minute? I see, I hear that there are some reporters in town. I presume that's probably you.
Yep, that's me. Elliot points to his little feather thing in his helmet. You can probably guess why we're here. But also, did you want to perhaps finish up your breakfast first before we maybe conduct like a small conversation?
You know what? I would much rather just eat and chat at the same time.
Right.
I'm pretty hungry, and I don't want to sit here awkwardly having you watch me eat.
And then Chris Hansen runs into the room.
Yeah.
And tackles this man.
Okay. Sorry, could you run your name by me one more time? I didn't quite catch that earlier.
Oh, my name's Mr. Penrose.
Ah, nice to meet you, Mr. Penrose. Would you mind telling me what is it you do around these parts?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? My headphones were spazzing out.
What are headphones? What's a phone?
What's a head?
No, what did you actually say? My headphones were totally gone for a sec.
Yeah, no, Elliot asked
Puts his ear trumpet in.
what he did like as a job, occupation, what does he do around town?
Oh, well, believe it or not, I'm actually the headmaster at the school.
Oh wow. Do you what age groups do you guys teach? Is it all the way up through like secondary school or?
Well, I'm the headmaster at the secondary school, yes. So typically people of your age, about.
Wow. So you probably have heard about the recent reportings of children going missing. What do you feel about that, or your thoughts on that subject?
Well, heard about it, yes. But I know very much about it. There were some of my students back in the day before I was headmaster.
That must be terrible, hearing that they've gone missing.
Well, as a matter of fact, these things happen, but unfortunately, this one happened at my school. And I can't help but feel part of it may have been my fault.
Why is it you feel that? Is this case different than the other ones? Like I don't have that much knowledge of what goes on regularly in this town, but you said that this happens from time to time. Is this time different?
Well, as far as time to time, I more just mean bad things happening. I always heard about, terrible things happening at other headmasters' schools, and forever it was never mine until one day. It was, and many good students are now gone.
It's always a saddening thing to hear. Do you have any thoughts on what could be the cause for this over here in Beskol?
He actually leans in. He's like, kind of close to you. He says, I know a bit of information in which I should like to share with you. But if you wouldn't mind keeping it between just us for now.
You have my journalistic integrity.
See, I am slightly fearful that the information I share might incriminate me in some sort of way because of how it looks. But I feel the need to tell someone who can take this information and do with it what good they may and seek truth.
That's my job. We can always put you down as an anonymous resource.
Great. Anonymous is the name of the game. But the information about 1 month ago, I'm sure you're well aware of the disappearances happening in the past week. Believe it or not, all of them within the same evening, as a matter of fact. But about a month prior to that, all of the kids who are now missing just so happened to serve in detention with me at the same time.
Why were they in detention for? Was it something all of them did, or just various reasons?
Well, there were many different reasons. It was quite a mix of characters. There were popular kids, there were average kids, and then of course there were your bookworms. There was nothing strange about the detentions, aside from the fact that there was high school cliques happening. I will say that by the end of their detention, they did seem to be somewhat closer as a group, but starting off, it was a rough go of it. You see, Drake and Brock, who are two of the missing boys, were in detention for dropping Boris into a latrine. Then Boris and his brother Barry rigged Drake and Brock's lockers to eject expired sausage on their faces, and they found themselves in detention. Then you have Elaine and Jess, who, for whatever reasons, refused to wear school-appropriate attire, claiming it was the new style and I need to get with the times. Unfortunately, they wouldn't listen and wore the same revealing outfits for a week straight, so I had to put them in detention as well. And then finally, there was Aaron and Olga, who were caught stealing supplies from the laboratory and workshop.
Caught stealing what?
Supplies, a mix of things.
From the workshop? That sounds really dangerous.
Well, we do have workshop classes and labs and such for kids in our programs to learn things. You didn't have that at your school?
I was homeschooled.
Oh, so I presume not.
No, I have never really been much in a workshop, so I don't really know what kind of supplies they would have taken. Could you explain that a little bit further for me?
Well, there was a various array of amber stones and honey that were taken from the laboratory. From the workshop, there were random strange scraps of metal. I mean, Aaron and Olga are known to be tinkerers. It's no surprise that they wanted to get into something else. It's just that they likely got caught at the bad time.
Wow, that seems to be quite the cast of characters they have there. Well, is there... Yeah, none of this seems really concrete right now in terms of leads, but is there anything else you'd like to mention?
Well, again, just between you and I, if the city finds out that I was in charge of running a detention with all of the missing kids, they will suspect that I may have had something to do with it. And I know as new people to town, if I confide in you, that you will seek out the truth, and the truth will protect me ultimately, and hopefully lead to the finding of these teenagers.
So, okay, it was 1 month after that detention, and if I mentioned to you that 2 of the girls that have gone missing went missing after a sleepover with each other, would that does that give you any thoughts of a sort?
No, it doesn't give me too many thoughts. I mean, they went missing the same night everyone else went missing. Perhaps Perhaps their sleepover wasn't what they said it was. I don't know. I'm speculating at this point.
Yes. Well, thank you for all the information you've given, Professor or Mr. Penrose. If we happen to come by anything or need to share anything with you or run something by you, where can we find you if you're still willing to help?
Well, on the weekends, I normally come here and eat a plateful of bacon and some coffee. Then during the weekdays, I'm at school, busting chops for doing bad things.
Okay. Well, hopefully we can bring you some good news next time. And if we asked for your audience, would it be possible to set something up at that time?
Of course, everyone in town knows that I know the kids. It would only be natural.
Okay then. Well, thank you very much for your time. This has been incredibly enlightening.
It was great.
In the background, you just hear me talking to Bureau, just like, and then I shoved my principal in the car. It was hilarious. I beat his ass.
Elliot is just trying his best to not turn around. He's just only staring at Professor Penrose right now.
He looks at you, Elliot, and he just says, "Youth these days, huh?"
And then I got a job at the Barandosia Post, and I feel like I'm going to end up interviewing a person. It's just a circle of life. Circle of life.
All right, Penrose, sir. I'm going to take my leave now, and I guess bring my friend somewhere else where he's less of an embarrassment for me.
Oh, it's your friend. I would not blame you for getting out of here. He's quite rambunctious.
Anyway, I have this deep-seated anger towards people of leadership in my life, and I feel.
Okay, Brando, it is time to go. We had our food. Let's get out of here.
All right, so you guys head out.
Yeah, but I've got like a Zeeploc bag full of bacon and like mashed potatoes, but it's just one bag. So honestly, the bacon's a little soggy, and the mashed potatoes had like grease running through it now, so both of them are kind of ruined.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Why would you say this?
Oh, it's your breakfast.
Okay, so you guys want to head out?
Does anyone else want to interview anyone else in the cafe or whatever we're calling it, diner?
All I want to do right now is recreate our last interaction with Darwin in this place. Let's go before I do.
Okay, dope. So you guys leave the Dayanara, and you're now in like the main plaza where the town hall and the statue is. It is raining, so hope you have your whaleskin tunics.
Always.
As you walk through the plaza, you start to get a better sense for the town itself than when you first approached in the night, and because of the rain, the fog is also lifted a little bit as well. Nearly all of the buildings are wooden structures with pitched roofs that are covered in moss. You can see a lot of these buildings are actually supported by tall trees that are on the perimeters. And some of the trees, or some of the buildings, even have trees growing up through the middle of them. From where you guys are standing, you can finally see, like, over to the cliffs of the lake. You can see an old lighthouse that's up against the cliffs, looking over Lake Lyle. And you can see, clear down Main Street and all of the shops. So today is a Saturday, so you can go to pretty much anywhere in the town that you would like.
Farmers market, guys.
Farmers market's on the Sunday, dude. Come on.
Damn it.
So yeah, you're within close proximity to you. You have like the chapel, you have Cliff's Tavern, you have Curtis and Sons General Store, and you can cruise down to the docks. And also, you're welcome to just like chill and talk to people in the plaza too.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of feeling the general store, because I feel like even if it's just a drifter coming in, serial killing kids, or whatever. They're gonna need to buy supplies, so
Yeah.
we can get an idea of people coming in and out based off of the general store.
Elliot, you talked to one of the employees at the school. These kids were all in detention. Do you think maybe they just all ran away because of being disciplined, rebelling? They are high school kids. Could they all just be hiding out, smoking?
Maybe that could be a possibility.
Drinking.
However, from the way he phrased it, they're not all friends. I mean, Brock and whoever else their name was bullying Boris, so I doubt they would conspire together to run away.
We also just when we first got here, we did try to talk to the police, but then they were all totally absent-minded NPCs, except for the lead investigator. But recently, I just got yelled at for going straight to the head of both the police department and the head sorcerer. So maybe we could always try to find somebody lower down on the totem pole who's not clocking in and clocking out and not doing their job. If we're
like a janitor that really believes in the mission.
Yeah. There's also, I like your idea about if there's a serial killer or somebody coming through, they'll have to buy stuff. Continuing that logic, though, if there's a serial killer coming through, they'd probably be staying at the same hotel we are. Same inn.
Janine, if any strange travelers come through.
Maybe this has been Janine the whole time.
I mean, she is super strong.
Why does that make her more attractive to me? I don't know.
It's all being scared out.
I like your style.
Maybe you should give her your Zeeploc food container thing there. As a token of your love and goodwill.
My affections are quite strong, but I am concerned that this has basically turned into a bag of kind of like tannish mush. And I don't know how that's it's still gonna taste amazing, but I don't think it's gonna strike her that well that I just leave with food from her establishment and then bring her food back from her establishment.
Well, maybe you can buy her something at the general store.
Yeah, or
that seems more like it.
Brendel, I was thinking you could always, make her a haiku. You've been making them all the time, so she'd probably feel special if you made her one.
You know what? That's a really great idea. I might even sing music. It's gonna be great. I think I'm gonna do that. That's a really good idea. Thank you, Elliot.
All right, just be careful you shouldn't rip your head off.
That she doesn't rip my head off.
I mean, you see how strong she was.
Praying mantis? What's going on here?
I mean, last night, maybe I was drunk already, but last night she was lifting entire booths with one arm.
Yeah, I saw that too. I was out of it, but I saw that too. That was something.
Weak men are scared of strong women.
Look, you see, as
check that in yourself.
She physically throws a sailor out of the tavern or out of the diner. She just
He
lifts
deserved
him
it.
off the ground.
Look,
She tells
I'm
him,
just saying that
I told you for the fourth time, Jerry, you take
Oh.
your dick out in this establishment again, I'm going to throw you. And then she just hugs him.
And that
Definitely deserved it.
Not the thing we just heard, but that does remind me. There is a lake that's apparently well trawled. I'm just saying, if I was going to dump bodies, that's a big lake. There's a lot of Barrow. You've mentioned being able to transform, and actually you've done that a couple times. Do you think you could Aquaman this? You might be able to Aquaman this. Otherwise,
I'm blushing.
I can talk with some small animals, but I think you can probably do it better than I can.
Yeah. Really fun tidbit about me. I love to morph into animals. I haven't yet learned how to swim yet as said animals. So I'll just maybe take a look from the beach or
Wait, Bayro's never seen an aquatic animal before?
I mean, he's from the desert of Valia.
It was
dude,
a
you can't.
3 trip over here.
It's like a level 6 move or 5 or something to swim. I can't swim yet. I literally can't.
I was just waiting
The handbook
for him to be like,
says it.
What?
I haven't seen fish.
I'm looking at
can't.
I'm gonna look at your character. That sounds psychotic.
I can't swim or fly
You
yet. I
can't
can't
turn
swim
into
or
a
fly.
Oh, okay.
What kind of weak ass druid are you? What's the point of being a druid?
Sockeye salmon's too OP for D&D. Was that what they thought?
Sockeye salmon.
Can't even turn into a minnow.
Yeah.
Wait, because he still can't swim, but he at least breathe underwater.
Here's a question.
I think
Totally
probably
off topic.
for the amount of time that a human could.
Oh my god,
You,
what?
as a druid, turn into a sperm cell if you wanted to?
What the fuck?
Oh, I don't
Do
think
I
so.
want
That's half of a human zygote, so I don't think that.
I think you have to
Like, half of a
at
zygote.
point.
You have to be at least a full DNA cell, right?
Plus,
Oh
I
my
think
God.
the druidic tribe has
Can
to
we-
decide at what point life begins before that spell can be cast.
Yeah, that'll be a
Oh
deeper
boy, we
side
have to really
quest
nail
for
down
sure.
that. We have to
Yeah.
nail down when life begins for this podcast.
Let's go ahead
Yeah.
and just abort this conversation because I don't know.
All right, where do you guys want to go?
Congratulations, Chad.
No,
Let's do
Congratulations.
Ethan's.
You really knocked that out of the park like a fetus with a baseball bat.
Let's do Ethan's or Brendel's suggestion first and hit up the general store.
Oh,
Ye old general
Hey,
goods store.
Curtis and Sons.
He does
Yeah.
not Davers.
Oh, Wally World.
Yeah, it's not Davers Discount Depot. Those are they don't have those in this here part of town.
Damn, they should really expand in here.
Dope. So you guys head into Curtis and Sons, and just a heads up, Mr. Curtis, you took his story. His two sons, Barry and Boris, were the ones who went missing. Just so you are refreshed, and that's not information you didn't know before. I just wasn't sure if you had it written down or anything. Dope. So cool. You go to Curtis and Sons General Store. It's like a small rectangular 2-story wooden building. Appears to be a store on the ground level with a residence up top. There's a small covered porch and a wood sign blowing in the wind that says Curtis and Sons One-Stop Shop. From the outside, you can see that there's a tree that looks to be growing like right through the middle of the building. So you guys go in, you can see that this pine tree that's coming up through the middle of the building indeed is right through the middle of the building. There's a circular hole in the roof that lets the air pass and lets the tree come through. And the shop is just packed super tightly with wooden shelves, with food from all sorts. There's so many different types of races and cultures and things that live in this town, and so there's a very eclectic mix of food and smells in the room as well. At the front of the store, you can see there's a checkout counter where you see Mr. Curtis kind of just chilling there, waiting for some people to check out. He's polishing the counter, and then in the back, you can see that there's actually a small little like tailor shop set up, and you can see Bernard, the human tailor, back there.
So is the guy's name Curtis?
Yes, Mr. Curtis. Mr. Curtis.
Hey, hello, Mr. Curtis. It's Brendel from the Baron Dowager Post. Just here to just really check in with you this morning. How are you?
He was like very into scrubbing the tabletop, and he's a little bit of like a chunky halfling. He's got his brown little work suit on. He's got a chain coming out of the pocket. It's connected to like a copper pocket watch. And you startle him, and he goes, "Oh, well, I didn't see you there."
Oh, so sorry. I thought I had rung the bell, but I'm so sorry to have surprised you that way.
Baron Doja Post.
That's me.
Wow, my boys are missing. And I would love to see them again. So anything I can provide for you would benefit me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wanted to just sit with you again and see if I mean, as the proprietor of this establishment, you see people who come to you all the time for supplies, and I just wanted to see if there's anything out of the ordinary that came through, and that you might be interested in describing to me.
Well, the night of the disappearances was a tough night. One, because I lost 2 sons, but 2, because, well, there was a band in town playing. Ben goes by the name of Crushmouth. They were playing, 2 doors down over at Cliff's Tavern. So typically when there's a show over at Cliff's, we do pretty well. We stay open later than normal. And we take some of the overflow because, of course, people get the drunchies. So I stayed late that night to make sure that we were making enough money and to, mooch off of some drunk people who wanted some good food.
Hey,
But
now you're an all-star.
come on now. You're a Crushmouth fan too.
Hey, get your game on.
I was bummed I couldn't go. That being said, Barry and Boris told me they had homework to be doing, so I assumed that it was safe just letting them go home. But unfortunately, that night, when I said it's okay if you go home, that was the last word I heard from them.
Oh gosh. Just so I have my numbers right here, how long ago was that?
It was about a week ago. Same night as everyone else.
Okay. I hope you don't mind me asking, just clarifying questions just to make sure everything's make sure I have everything correct. So they both disappeared at the same time, the night of the concert. Are you aware, were other people the other children that were snatched, were they also either working or attending this concert?
As far as I'm concerned, none of them were attending the concert. There's an age limit, and high schoolers aren't allowed.
That's good to know.
Mr. Curtis. Oh. I was just wondering. Elliot, I'm going to go ahead and take this one. Mr. Curtis, I remember speaking to you the other night over at the city hall. Did Boris and Barry ever make it home? Is there any signs that they made it home when you were working? Was there any signs in your home that they may have been taken, or did it look like they had made it home and left on their own, their own accord? What did you see anything at home after you got back from work that may lead you to?
Being completely honest, my house looked untouched. Nothing was out of place. The doors weren't even unlocked. Nothing was broken. The boys' beds were made just as they had left them. It's as if they didn't even go home.
Interesting.
Or if they didn't go home. He's kind of tearing up right now.
Mr. Curry,
I wrap him in a big hug.
I think Brendel actually has a little snack for you to tide you over. Right, Brendel?
Oh yeah. Do you want some bacon and mashed potatoes? You're welcome to it. It wasn't intended, but I'm happy to supply it.
A man after my own heart. Mix the bacon with the mashed potatoes. It's like Barry and Boris.
Yeah, it's like a breakfast popsicle.
He just dips his hand into the Ziploc and just takes a big bite. Gets a good chunk of like mashed potatoes and bacon get stuck on his mustache and beard that presumably stay there for later.
Mr. Curtis, now that you're satiated, did your children say anything after they went to detention at school? I heard they got into some trouble. Were they more abnormal or had anything to say about going to detention after school? Did you get in a fight with them or anything?
Well, he sniffs and wipes some mashed potatoes off of his beard, but there's still like 4 chunks left. The night they disappeared, or after detention, I mean, was sort of a strange moment for me because, well, typically the commoners don't really like the elves as much, but they came back from detention having a strange affinity for everyone who was in detention with them that night. And I mean, Drake and Brock included. I mean, they had their own sort of little rivalry going on that they never exactly explained to me, but I know my boys rigged up their lockers. Good for them, because those kids are pricks, Drake and Brock are. But then they came back from detention, and all of a sudden, they seemed to be all buddy-buddy with Drake and Brock. Kind of gave me the feeling that whatever happened might have had something to do with those elves.
Okay. I think that's all I have right now, fellas. Anything else to say to Mr. Curtis?
The only thing that I could think of to ask is, were their behaviors any different in between that month period from detention to when it disappeared?
Well, I would say they were a little bit more social than they typically had been. They seemed to want to be doing things more often. They were asking me to go out more. Of course, trying to be a good father. I let them. But nothing out of the usual. They were still pulling good grades. They were still coming to the shop to help clean the place and do work. They were still helping maintain the house. They were pulling their load. I figured, I'd give them a little bit more freedom for maintaining that.
So on the same night that all the children disappeared, 2 girls also disappeared, supposedly at each other's slumber party.
Well, there were actually 4 girls that disappeared that night.
Right. I've only heard stories about 2 of them.
Yeah. Well, if you need the other 2, they're Bernard's girls. And he points to the back of the shop where the tailor is. What were you going to say about the other 2?
Oh, well, I just wanted to ask if so were all 4 girls going to the same summer party, or?
No, it was just, as far as I'm concerned, it was just the 2 girls at the slumber party.
Okay. I guess we'll have to ask Bernard about the other 2 girls, because we're trying to just at least figure out where they could have been on that night, just to figure out maybe it's a shared event or something. But thank you so much for your time.
You know what? Pleasure helping you. If you like, you're welcome to take a handful of my homemade Curtis and Sons candies. Except, without my sons, I'm just Mr. Curtis.
Well,
you got any more of that bacon and mash there, boy?
Brendel, just give him the whole bag. Just give him the whole bag.
Here you go. I give him the bag a deep, tight hug.
He takes it and just says, "Feel free to grab any snack from the store for payment."
Hey, Don't you worry about it. And I just pop a random candy. Like that's more than enough. I just wanted to taste some of your handiwork. We'll do everything we can to find your boys.
We'll find your boys here soon, and the worst case scenario is you just cut part of the sign off and it just says Curtis.
Oh, dude, don't bring that up. That's Barrow.
Yeah.
Oh God,
it's not working out well for my emotions.
That's not a good idea. Don't
Elliot
do
just
that.
pushes Barrow.
We gotta move on.
Elliot's just pushing.
Hey, goodbye, Mr. Curtis. God, man, that was
Catch
just.
you guys later.
Bye. We'll find them. Good Lord, Barrow.
now he's crying.
Come on, man.
He's crying now, Barrow.
Oh God.
We were doing so well. Like honestly, we were being cordial and charismatic all up until you started helping him plan for the death of his sons. Like that's not what we were there for. So
yeah, sorry. Just trying to look at it glass half full. Glass half full.
That was not half full. That was very much empty. Milk.
Well, all right.
Okay.
That didn't go great.
I don't think he was concerned about the sign, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Shall we go to the dock?
Wait,
Yeah,
we should ask Bernard about his two daughters. He's right here in the back of the store.
Hey, that's a good idea.
I think that's a false lead.
Oh, okay.
Fine, let's go.
I closely
I'm so
follow
confused.
Elliot.
All right, Elliot walks up to Bernard, or what he thinks is Bernard.
Yeah, you do walk up to Bernard. As you get to the back counter, you can see he's a human. He's got like sandy blonde hair with a little bit of a messy comb over, and he wears a obviously well-tailored gray suit and some brown loafers. He is you actually didn't take a story from him that night, but he was the fella who is now married to Lola, Joran the dwarf's wife, who unbelievably left Joran for this human man. And yeah, actually, that's all you guys know about him. Just want to make sure you guys had the background before.
Okay. Hi, Mr. Bernard.
Oh, hello. How are you?
Down here. Hi, I am doing moderately well. It's a fine weekend day. We heard that your daughters went missing, and we're journalists from the Baron Doja Post, and we're trying to piece together what happened and maybe provide aid to the city or town of Beskol to help alleviate any of these worries and eventually maybe find the kids.
Well, you're the journalist, right? Who seems most of the town thinks that you like the elves a little bit more, right?
Not the case. It just maybe seemed that way because there's unfortunately there's only a few of us and there's so many people back then. It was a little difficult to get everyone's stories, and perhaps we were just too slow.
You know what? You guys do you. Don't really mind myself. But you're asking about my daughters, yeah?
Yeah. We're just trying to get a count of what supposedly all the children were doing at the time they possibly disappeared.
Right. Yeah, well, so actually they were my daughters. One of them was my stepdaughter, my new stepdaughter. The other one is my actual birth daughter. Erin is mine. But my new wife, Lola, she's Olga's mom. So Erin and Olga, they were, as far as siblings go, step siblings go, I mean, they got along like two peas in a pod. Never saw them disagree. In fact, they were always just riffing off of each other every single day. It was amazing. It was almost like they were more happy about me and Lola getting together than Lola and I were. And man, I love her.
Wow, that sounds really blessed to have a family that's just all happy to be together. I can't really say the same with me and my siblings. But yeah. So, what were they doing the day of the disappearance?
Well, that night was a bit of a tough night for us. It started, the girls have been working for the past, I don't know, couple months on some new study, and they thought that they had, broken some scientific or magical. I'm a tailor. I don't know this stuff. They thought they had broken some barrier and found their way into the Fae, or some way that they could connect to it. So the day that they went missing, they actually took their work to Morose to present to him, and they know that Morose doesn't like people of our kind, and they assumed that he was a little bit better than that, and had better intentions, and they thought that he would be able to see through who they were at the work that they had put together, and see that what they were showing him was good and true and worth following up on. But instead, what happened is, they went to him one night. They brought, all their supplies. They brought their papers. They brought everything, and they presented it to him. And they left it with him. You know what he did?
What did he do?
He took all of their research, about 20 pages of books, just crumped it up right in front of them, dropped it on the floor.
Wow.
Told them that they were superstitious and that they didn't know dang thing about anything.
I haven't talked to Moros a lot. In fact, one of our team members here, Og, had a conversation earlier, and he did not seem like the most hospitable fellow, and that just kind of seals that.
What's your gauge on this morose fella?
People got mad at me last time I said what I thought about him, but he seems.
You're talking to a different side of the town now.
He seems like he's at best playing his cards close to his chest, and at worst has something to hide.
Yeah, well, that guy's always holding something close to his chest. I mean, since day one, it was like you couldn't even be in the same room with him without him snarling his nostrils at you or calling you some sort of name that had to do with being dirty.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm a tailor. I'm clean. I don't know what his beef is with me.
I think he is going through some internal issues, and he's taking it out on everybody else.
Yeah, well,
he doesn't seem so happy with his lot in life, and trying to put everybody else down.
He's been the head sorcerer for the Faithfinders for years now, and hasn't come up with anything. I imagine he's starting to feel threatened of some sorts. But if he would have listened to my daughters, he might have found something. Who knows?
I'm willing to bet that the king is none too pleased with his lack of progress.
No, it's a shame. He's kind of responsible for a lot of the division in this town. He came in as a new head sorcerer and just started stirring things up, turning us into villains, making us seem like we're too stupid to understand anything that goes on with the Fae.
Oh, did you say new head sorcerer? What happened to the previous one?
Oh man. Well, I don't know all the details. I know stories, but the old guy, his name was actually Cretius Mulvaney. Cretius was definitely, he took a different approach than Morose did, and again, I'm not super involved, so I don't know a ton of how this worked. All I know is that Cretius was attempting to do some sort of ritual or experiment or whatever it may be to connect with the Feywild, and something went horribly wrong during that moment, and as a result, well, the whole top half of his body just seemed to be warped. Basically, all he is a pair of legs walking around now. Now the town decided that after looking at him, his body still seemed to be fine, but for some reason it was like literally his top half was in another dimension or something like that. So as a result, they didn't want to kill him or have the legs walking around fall off a cliff. So they decided they would just lock him up in the old lighthouse, which is where he did most of his work in the first place. So,
wow.
Believe it or not, Cretius Mulvaney still, well, at least his bottom half, still wanders around that lighthouse. Some creepy stuff.
That is.
I don't know about you guys, but I think we should leave this town. I think we should leave it right now. I don't want to be here anymore. We should just leave.
On the opposite side of that sentiment, where is his lighthouse?
I mean, you walk out the door and look up. Right over the.
I mean, it's a lighthouse. It'll follow the light.
Yeah, well, the light's another thing. I mean,
Brendel, I don't know if you're informed, but if you look at me, I am quite short. If I look up, I just see walls.
Yeah, well, the lighthouse is pretty much decommissioned. I mean, it existed solely for Cretius to do his work, and occasionally the lighthouse flickers here and there. Now that I think of it, and you actually see he's like thinking kind of hard for a sec. He says, now that I think of it, the night the girls disappeared, I remember the lighthouse was turned on.
Ooh. Write that down.
And he says, I mean, that's probably just coincidence. Cretius, those legs don't know where they're walking. They run into levers and pulleys all the time. I mean, it probably happens once or twice a month where the lighthouse turns on, flickers here, shines in people's bedrooms, waking them up at night. So, it might have been a coincidence. To be honest, I'm not sure. I know they keep that place locked up.
I get the feeling that we're going to have to go visit, Darth Maul's walking bits.
Nice.
I know what you did. I can appreciate it.
Wow. Thank you so
Taylor,
much.
Before we go, just quickly here, were your daughters working on their project on the Feywild with any other kids, or was it just the two of them?
No, it was just them, and they're smart girls. Whatever they were onto, it was real. It wasn't just a high schooler's side project. And the unfortunate thing is that they were so upset at Morose basically rejecting everything they said that they left all of their stuff with him. I mean, I couldn't even tell you what it was. I'm not smart enough. Otherwise, I would hand it over to you, but I can't, and I don't have it.
Does Cretius ever come by and buy any pants from you?
Cretius is locked in that tower permanently. No one can get in, no one can get out. Well, except, I suppose there's two people in town who have keys to the tower. That's the Bouge family and Morose. Well, not the Morose himself. But those are the only two keys to get in that tower as far as I know.
So as a reminder, the Bouge family was the man with the patches on his blazer at the elbows, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool.
And they're Drake's parents.
Right. The aspiring
Hey.
hip hop star.
Yeah,
Gosh,
exactly.
alright.
That's the one.
Okay. Well, should we go talk to the Bouges?
Yeah, I think that's a good way to go.
Taylor, what do you think about my whale poncho?
It looks surprisingly well made. I mean, it's not the most fashionable piece of wear. If you're interested, I do have a little bit more of a tailored piece that might suit your interest. It's actually I call it the woot, the whale suit. It's fully made of whale skin. It's got everything you need. It's a full suit. It's just made of whale skin. You can walk in town, not get a drip on you.
Does it chafe?
What do you say? No chafing. I'll make sure. The crotch, listen to me, little man. The crotch is ventilated.
Wow, is it just breathable all over?
It's just in the crotch and the armpits.
Wow.
Okay. So it's not fully waterproof, is it?
Well, I mean, assuming that you're not walking dick up with your arms up, it's pretty waterproof.
Wow.
Barrow,
Taking
you
quite
might
a
want to
turn.
Barrow, you might want to consider getting this since you don't Elliot says under his breath, don't know how to swim.
What was that, Elliot?
Did I hear you say something about swimming? It's buoyant.
Elliot just winks at Barrow.
I can even add a fin on the back if you need directionality.
I've had enough here. Thank you, Taylor, sir. We will not be needing your blubber suit with extra breathability today. Thank you. Elliot?
Yes?
And I walk out.
You just said Elliot and you walked out.
Can I anamorph just like my mouth to like hyena teeth and then walk out and just go without using a wild shape?
Just your face. It's like Lord of the Rings when
Just like my fangs a little bit.
Frodo has
Hold
the
a
ring.
Bilbo.
Yeah, Bilbo. Okay, do you guys want to head out? I presume you're looking for the Bouges.
Yeah.
Yee.
Would you like to ask where they live so that you're not just caught knocking on doors? This is my advice
Seems
as a
like a good
DM to
idea.
you.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Bernard says, if you're gonna go look for the Bouges, you'll probably find them at their house. They're not too busy nowadays. They used to work real close with Cretius, but Morose hasn't had much of a need for them, so they kind of sit idly, waiting for commands and such. But they live just across the street, 2-story little house made of wood. You can actually see there's 4 stacked stones in front of it. Some people call it a cairn. I don't understand it, but
I was gonna say that. Okay. Thank you, Taylor, man. You've been very helpful.
sure
Goodbye.
thing.
What's the name of your part of your shop again?
Well, we haven't really decided on anything. It's just Curtis and Sons with the tailor inside. I think people just, at this point, the town's small enough, people just know, you know? You know, when you know, you know. You're like, you got to go to that place to get your suit tailored. It's like, oh yeah, Curtis and Sons, they got a guy in the back. I'm the guy in the back. You know?
Yep. Okay. Yep. Thanks. I was gonna make another joke about the Curtis name, but then I felt too dirty.
No, Curtis is still up front chomping on mashed potatoes and bacon.
He's happy. He happy boy.
How much mashed
Dope.
potato and bacon was in that Zeeploc bag?
Yeah, it must have been a gallon Zeeploc or a metric, cubic metric meter or whatever.
Cubic metric.
It was a Zeeploc bag of holding. So
Oh,
A
no.
liter.
How much did you pay for that bacon and mashed potatoes?
but I think it worked out to be about a single copper.
What?
Not an
One
expensive
stone?
place. Yeah, it's
One
it worked out
stone
well.
of potatoes.
All right, moving
Right?
on. This economy seems very weird.
Yeah, it is weird. You guys just made it weird. Okay, you guys want to go to the bouges?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dope. So
Les Bouches.
you guys leave Curtis and Sons. You walk over. I mean, this town is real small. So you walk over kind of the plaza and you go up the street a tiny ways, and you finally come to a two-story home with some stacked stones in front of it, which you presume is the Bouge's residence. You guys knock on the door, and after a brief period of time, you see the elf that you recognize from taking their story answer the door. He's wearing a similar like blazer jacket with patches on the end. He's got like linen pants, and he's wearing his slippers because obviously he's at home. And he's got a pipe in his mouth, and he's got sort of like gray-ing. It's brown, but it's like gray-ing hair, slicked back. He's an elf. And he says, "Oh, the reporters. You have need of me?"
Yeah. I guess I'll take care of this one.
So,
Can't do it, bud.
taking care of seems sort of like you're about to kill me. Let's not say that.
I didn't even have that thought when I crossed my head till you mentioned it.
Yeah,
But
well,
no, we're
taking
here.
care of this one. Sounds bad.
No, simply we are here for an interview with you, a little bit more information. We'd like to try to see if you have anything about it. More about the kids.
Yes.
Yeah, we were informed that you had close relations or some working relationship with the previous sorcerer, who is now a pair of walking legs.
Yep. Cretius.
Yeah, Cretius.
Good old chap.
Yeah, we heard that he's still alive, just fumbling about in the lighthouse. And we tried to speak to Morose a little earlier today, but he, like his name, wasn't very hospitable.
Yes, Morose has his way with people. Interesting that he's still not very hospitable to you guys after all you've done for us.
Yeah, I don't know. Our friend here, Og, as a fellow aficionado of the arcane, tried to have a conversation with him, and all of its good efforts were put to waste, sadly.
Og, no luck with the Morose, huh?
Not this time.
Yes, well, between you and me, he's kind of an asshole. I mean, he sort of put my wife and I out of work, but, what do we care? We're getting paid either way.
Huh.
What is it you do again?
Oh, well, and he takes a puff of his pipe, are cartographers. Back in the day when we were working for Cretius, we used to make all sorts of maps and things, and he had a lot more of a natural approach to finding a connection to the Fae. His methodology compared to Morose is much more poetic, whereas Morose is much more scientific and rational. As a result, he asked us to conjure up maps of all sorts in which we thought there might be potential for Fae portals or connections which we could utilize to make the transition over to the Feywild.
That sounds really fantastic in terms of like discovery. It sounds really engaging. I would have loved to have been part of that. But coincidentally, it seems that is also one of the what we're looking for here, extremely relevant to our current investigation. In terms of maybe finding the kids, is it possible we can take a look at your map at some point?
By all means. I mean, what kind of map would you like to look at?
Particularly the one about the entrances to the Feywild. It seems that, to our knowledge, at least, all the children disappeared in the same night, and for some reason, the lighthouse lit up, which is apparently a very uncommon occurrence.
Uncommonly common. I mean, of course, it used to happen all the time. It still happens every now and again as Cretius unknowingly walks into all sorts of things up in the lighthouse to turn it on. But if you would like to take a look at the maps, I suppose we could find something for you to look at. And he opens the door more so you guys can like come into his house if you want.
Yes.
Cool. In. So you guys go into the house. You can see like off to your left is a smaller living room. You can see there's like a boar's head on the wall. There's a fireplace going. There's a leather couch. There's a hallway to the back that goes to what looks like a small little like kitchenette area, and then stairs go up to the bedrooms. And then off to your right, you can see there's like an office with like double doors, and it's just like this super like, messy room, but not messy as in like he's dirty. It's messy as in he just has like a shit ton of maps all over the place.
Question: does he have slippers for guests? Because Elliot is wearing metal boots and they would scuff up his entire floor.
Oh, would you like to ask him that?
Mr. Bouge, do you happen to have any slippers for guests? I would hate to scuff up your floor.
Oh, what a absolutely considerate man you are. As a matter of fact, we do. And he slips open a closet, and it's like a bowling shoes rack with like 20 different sizes of slippers. And he says, feel free to take your pick. Just make sure to disinfect them before you put them on. And after you take them off. I'm a bit of a germaphobe.
Okay. Gladly do that. Elliot just finds an appropriate pair, if there's one small enough for him.
There is.
Cool. Is there one small?
It smells like baby feet.
What?
The guests. You have the guests disinfect these for you.
Well, I mean, I don't like touching feet stuff, so yes, I do.
I take my boots off and raw dog it.
I don't. You know what? You're a reporter. I understand you have weird rituals when you're taking news down or doing that sort of thing, so I'll let it fly.
Thank you.
So if you like, you come into my office and I'll see if I can dig up this map for you.
Yes, Bouge. While you're digging, do you check on your friend Cretius at the lighthouse often? It seems like a little concerning that the people in this town just leave a half-bodied man in a lighthouse by himself. I mean, he is a friend of yours, right? Do you check on him?
Well, he was a friend of ours, indeed. But Cretius was a bit obsessive, and that lighthouse was basically his home. Of course, he had a small house in the forest, but he spent all of his time there. He spent his time studying, drawing, doing all sorts of rituals, whatever it is. He spent his time there. So it only seemed fitting that we let him wander the rest of his days, or at least until we can find a way to recover the rest of his body, in the place where he spent most of his time. He doesn't seem to need food because he has no way to ingest it. And in the past couple of times when he has been let out, he's almost walked off the cliff. And we just would rather keep him safe, so we let him stay locked up in there. And I haven't checked on him in probably 5 years.
Would you say, compared to Morose, that he was well liked and you could say maybe had a leg up in town?
Cretius was indeed well liked. He still had the same issues that most people have, but for the most part, Cretius was respected and adorned by many of the nature lovers in town for his sort of natural theories.
Okay. And what's your take on this new Morose guy?
Morose is fine. He's a good sorcerer, no doubt. He does his job. But he is a little bit more hardline, and he doesn't seem to care as much for the natural surroundings as I think that he should, and I imagine other people think the same thing. He spends most of his time doing experiments in his house alone to try and find it. I think part of it is he wants credit for himself, but the other part of it is that he's just too stubborn to accept help from others, which is why my wife and I, who were the cartographers who helped to establish locations in the area which might be fitting for a Fey portal to open, we have been out of work for a while.
So his title is lead researcher, but it sounds like he's, by his own choice, kind of the only researcher now.
He has his own ring of cronies that he invites up to the laboratory on occasion, but this is, keep in mind, my personal experience, and as the cartographer who now has nothing to cartographize, I don't know if that's a word, it rubs me the wrong way because I'm basically just sitting idle, drawing most of the days.
Seems like you've lost your way. Once a legend.
Seems like it. Ironic, considering I draw maps for a living. Ah.
Well, Bouge, it's been very nice coming into your house and allowing us to take our shoes off and get to see some of your maps here. Do you think we could go, maybe all of us head over to the lighthouse together?
I think that might be a fine idea, and you're lucky I do have the keys to the lighthouse, not White House. I don't know what the White House is, to the lighthouse myself. Are you hoping to go check it out at some point?
Yes, actually.
I mean, I think as reporters, I probably trust you enough to just lend you the key for a little while, if you'd like.
Yeah, that would be fine too. I just thought
Cool.
maybe you'd want to see your friend Legs there, but we'll be happy to give him a
And
A knee tap will do.
A leg up.
knee tap. Yes, I can't think of any other leg puns.
Go.
Sir, would it also be possible to take one of your maps as well in terms of our investigation? We'll return it at the by the time we leave.
Of course. I mean, unfortunately, most of my Fey maps from back in the day are in our ship, but I can provide you with a bit of a newer map of the area, so at least you can get your bearings.
That would be great.
Cool. So he grabs you like a map. It's a newer map. that he's just drawn. There's no sort of like fey information on it. And then he also goes to his desk and he opens a key, or he grabs a key and he sticks the key in the desk and he opens it. And he pulls the drawer open and you just hear him say, well, it would seem that your jobs are a little bit more interesting now. The key to the tower is missing.
Dun dun dun.
Well, that's
And
unfortunate.
I don't really know how this could have happened.
Has there
You don't.
Has there been any strange visitors lately?
No, I've had no visitors since Drake went missing. It's literally just been my wife and I.
Can I roll to see if he's telling the truth? Since we haven't yet.
Yeah.
Can I do an investigation?
Do it.
Would it be perception?
Do it.
Insight.
Insight,
You want me
yeah.
to
Yeah,
do it?
insight.
Okay. Yeah. I got a 10.
Oh my God.
You got a 10. He seems genuine enough. With the 10.
Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate. Looking around and seeing these maps everywhere, it seems like this place isn't that organized, so I'm not surprised you lost the key. Yeah, we'll just head out now. And thanks for your help, Booge.
Right, of course. I do know that Morose holds another key, somewhere in his house. I would imagine that key might get you into the lighthouse if you need it.
Maybe.
Right. I mean, I was just trying to offer a helpful tip. Take it or leave it. It doesn't matter.
We don't have a great rapport with Roast after our booth visit over at the inn. I think we were trying to take a seat with him, and he wasn't very welcoming. So, we'll see.
Well,
what's his new
nice.
cartographer's name again?
There is none. He doesn't use a cartographer. We're the only ones, and we stay here most of the time waiting for orders. You could just take it from him.
What?
I mean, let's just steal it. Why not?
I'm all for it.
I think he's a prick. I've been out of a job for the past 2 years. Hell, I'd steal it with you.
We might have to take you up on that offer. Do you? Oh no. We are experiencing some technical difficulties right now.
I like your style, Matt. I like your style.
It was more just a suggestion. I'm not really sure if you'd ever follow up with that. I mean, you could try and convince him to just bring it to you.
We could try that. I'd be afraid of drawing attention to our seeking it in the first place, but I'm sure stealing from his house would be no small feat on its own. But it's worth considering.
Well, believe it or not, as a cartographer, I do have many of the original drawings from when this town was first constructed. I may or may not be able to look the other way if you were to so inquire about a map that contained blueprints to his chambers and tower and labs.
Sounds like it would be exactly what we need.
Sounds like you could potentially walk near said item and we'll just take it and go.
Oh, yes. Or I could just hand it to you because I'm not too sure anyone else is watching.
Roll for perception. I want to see if there are spies in the room.
as long as there's no viewers here,
Yeah.
we're safe.
Actually, okay, yeah, give me a sleight of hand.
What the? What? Oh,
Yeah, you got this. That's what you're good at.
my hands. 1 second. I actually wasn't logged into D&D Beyond.
Bum bum bum. You want me to
or
just
Kat.
roll for
Where
you?
did Ethan go?
Ethan had a
He
jet.
split.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, it's 11. Well, 10 for you.
It's okay, we're almost done.
So
Elliot.
I rolled a 21 on sleight of hand.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
So he gets you the map, and you very stealthily take it. No one else in the party knows.
Where do I hide it?
So we just saw all this like really crappy double speech, and then also us not leaving with the map.
Literally. Yeah, so he hands
I
you
love it.
the map of Morose's quarters, and then he also gives you just like the general map of the town that I think one of you guys already had. Dope. Is there anything else you want to do while you're there?
I want to say this is probably a good stopping point.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
Tight.
To wrap it up, we say, Boosh, do you like bacon and mashed potatoes?
You don't have the bag anymore.
Yeah, you don't have it. And that's what
I thought it was a bigger bag.
we gave Curtis the entire bag, the entire greasy bag.
Oh damn. I forgot about
no,
that.
I think that's going to be a good stopping point.
We'll have to go back to Janine. Cool.
All right.
Very good. Yes, indeed.
I think I'm having trouble balancing like too much roleplay versus too much combat. Because this was like roleplay heavy, where the last session was like super combat heavy.
Right.
I think we could also ask. We could also. I kept thinking, and then would forget that I should ask to roll, just for like, make sure people are being honest and like look around the room. Like I just kept forgetting. I would think about it and then forget because I would get excited about other stuff. So
about the roleplay. I just want to talk to people.
I spent 90% of the time. Oh, go ahead.
Right. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say nothing of value. I was gonna say I spent 80% of the time trying to think of jokes about the torso guy, but I really only could think of the leg up one.
Dude, you had to toe the line.
Like any feedback you guys have, like especially right after the session, is always helpful because it's fresh on everyone's minds.
Right.
Just a question. Do we want to close the stream now or just keep it running?
Oh, yeah. I thought you'd close it up.
Shut her down.
No, because you guys don't give me
Bye,
time
everyone.
All right, bye, everyone.
Thanks for
I
listening.
love you.
Check out our Patreon where you can listen to the rest of this conversation.
Love you.
Paid exclusives.
Bye.